Ó, de jó. Gyere, leblek. Oké.
Ez egy labirintus.
400 éve, he?
400, 500, ki tudja.
Wow.
Near disaster. Ay, ay, ay. These entrances are just getting more and more dangerous, aren't they? Here we are in Miskolc. Here are two fine Miskolci men enjoying their beverages. And Avasi, yes, of course, Avasi, Avasi, Avasi. The Avasi beer house. Avas is the name of this area. And this hill, to be precise, is the Avas hedge. Believe it or not, famous, historically at least, for wine production. Nowadays, we don't really associate Miskolc with wine. That's more about the neighboring Tokaj region. But actually, Miskolc used to produce some of the finest stuff in the country. We can see it right here, the Avasi Történelmi Pincesorok. All of the pinces, which are like the Hungarian wine cellars, there are more than 800, and they've been operating for several centuries, still active. Not many people know about it. Ooh, Kühne Adolf. Emlékere. Borsodi Buk. Edgelet. 1911. That's a German name, Kühne Adolf. And many in this area have German heritage. Now there's a few Schwabs, the Schwabok being the Hungarian Germans, but there are also many who are known as the Ziepser Germans, the Ziepser Deutsch. What a little church. You know what? And the Ziepsers, the Zips, they are more similar to the Saxons of Transylvania. In fact, in Hungarian, the Saxons, they're known as the Sass, and the Ziepser Germans, they're known as the Székes Szászok. Székes megye, Székes Szászok. Wow, what a beautiful cemetery. Look at these old tombs. 1856. It was one of the Ziepser Germans, a man by the name of Herman Ottó, a late 19th century man, who was one of Miskolc's most famous sons, if not the very most famous indeed. He wasn't born here, he was born further north, in modern-day Slovakia, used to be known as the Felvidék, but he migrated to Miskolc as a young lad, 13 years old, and he was known as the last of the Hungarian polymaths. What is a polymath? A polymath is someone who's really good at a ton of things. For whatever reason, this fella, this Herman Ottó, his two major things were birds and spiders. Oh yes, Lotto Bar Endre. Very famous 19th century actor, theater director, and he had a summer house up here. That's why they named it after him. We can see on the Lotto Bar shore, the Lotto Bar row, these beautiful wine cellars. Oh, we can imagine in the summertime and even in the spring how glorious this lineup must be. And there below, Miskolc unfolds. Up there we can spy the Miskolci television tower with a viewing platform. But where was I? Right. Herman Ottó. In addition to being crazy about birds and crazy about spiders, he also made a massive discovery. Liverpool, Szoboszlai. I've been a Liverpool supporter long before Szoboszlai ever came into the picture. Soha egyedül sétálsz. But it's great, you know. The best Hungarian player since Puskás happens to now be playing for my favorite boyhood club. Match made in heaven. What did Herman Ottó discover? He discovered that prehistoric man inhabited these hills, and I'm talking 70,000 years ago, which was greatly contradictory to preconceived notions, because many people with their Western European snobbery assumed that prehistoric man had not settled east of the River Rhine. No. Herman Ottó, he proved that to be entirely incorrect. What do we got here? Oh, nem. Unicum Job. Miskolc happens to be one of the longest continuously inhabited cities in all of Europe. And Herman Ottó, he was the one who discovered that. And despite being a German, Herman Ottó was an ardent Magyar nationalist. He even went as far as to join, or rather attempt to join, the War of Independence in 1848 when he was only, get this, 14 years old. Unfortunately for him, his father didn't give him the necessary recommendation letter and they declined his valiant effort. But he remained a great lover of Hungary and all things Hungarian for the remainder of his days. A close friend and correspondent of Kossuth Lajos. Uh-oh, it's the Rendur. Now you can see out there into the distance all of these housing estates. This used to all be wine growing territory. Unfortunately, Miskolc's long reign as a fervent wine producer was put to a massive halt in the 1880s. Phylloxera, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. The terrible, terrible fungus that destroyed nearly all of the crops in Europe. And though the vineyards have recovered a bit, it's no longer quite the pomp and circumstance that it used to be. This peak is called the Horvat Tattoo. The Horvat Peak. And the reason it's named Horvat is because there was a very generous member of parliament who represented the Miskolc area back at the turn of the 20th century named Kossuth Lajos. And he was so kind indeed, that he generated the massive donation of 1,000 forints, 1,000 forints to the city of Miskolc, and for that, they named this hill after him. That's what 1,000 forints used to buy you back in the day. Ooh, this is nice. This must be Soviet era, communist era, if I had to guess. Very cool architecture. And then made and be free of charge. Let's go up and take a little gander. This is cool, great way to orient yourself. We can see Kasha, 77 kilometers that way, then 8 kilo. Kasha, known in Slovakian as Kosice. Ooh, Finland. Finnårsak. They say that Finnish and Hungarian are related languages. Some would argue that's conjecture, but syntax and grammar seem to have many similarities. Oh, love this. An old wooden church. Beautiful. Ah, this right here, this is the Diósgyőr Castle. Very famous castle in the times of Nagy Lajos, Louis the Great. We'll do a separate episode on him sometime. But the Diósgyőr Castle, which unfortunately has been closed for like a decade, renovations, reconstructions, is integral to the identity of Miskolc. Actually, the football team, the Foci Csapat, is called Diósgyőr. And here we can see some sort of power plant or factory, and there it is, right across the way at the foothill of that mountain. And industrial production, hugely important to Miskolc. It was known for many years, and still is in some respects, as the city of metal. Cleveland, Amerikai Egyesült Államok, the United States of America. Why Cleveland? Pretty random. Maybe because I think like Kossuth Lajos gave a speech there once. Maybe that's why. LeBron James. Okay, can't get in there. Oh well. Lovely little pinsa right here. This is the Polgármester pinsa. Great architecture. It was the personal pinsa of a former mayor, a Polgármester, of the city of Miskolc, early 20th century Polgármester, Homai Béla. Interesting. He must have loved his wine. And who wouldn't love their wine in Miskolc? I mean, come on. This is just, we gotta come back when the weather is warm. We gotta come back when the weather is warm. This place looks nice. Avasi Borház. A nézést, nyitva, vagy? Nincs. Aha. Jó. Cool. Hey, szia. Jól néz ki. Mikor nyitva? Tavasz vagy?
Nem látszunk benne,
Aha.
hanem mit tudom én, a falról, vagy levesszük a izét.
Ó, haha, fantasztikus.
Danika! Ezt a
Wow.
ne legyen már benne, mert a szem...
Szépen beszél.
Mondtam, hogy jól beszél.
Az akcentus.
Nagyon erős akcentus.
New Yorkból, Bronx, vagy?
Nem, igazából. Egészség.
A legszebb ruhámban.
Egészség.
De milyen, te rajtad is csöves? Rajtad is.
Így kell.
Avasi pince, a legjobb Avasi borház. A legjobb borház Miskolcban. Talán Magyarországon.
Talán.
Ó, de jó.
Mindig mondja az meg, hogy az asszony, meg a gyerek, meg a izé. Gyere, a leblek.
Oké.
Ez egy labirintus.
400 éve, hè?
400, 500, ki tudja.
Wow.
Ennyi.
Oh. Wow. Lehet? Oké. Oh my god.
És jobbra.
Oh.
Úgy.
So cool.
Csak, várj egy picit. Ez a lerakódás. Ez azt mondják, hogy több 100 millió éves tengernek a nyoma, hogy lerakódott.
Pannonia tenger.
Van tenger. Így, ahogy mondod. És csak végig.
Wow. This is... Nagyon köszönöm. Csodálatos. Tényleg csodálatos. A borpipacs.
Fordulj el?
Gyönyörű.
Két szem. Látod?
Ja, igen.
Magyar sikoly.
A leghíresebb Gábor megybor készítő. Ó, a lábok.
Fogadjunk májusban,
Jó
hogy ez
lábok.
30 New York-i. A 100%. Szerintem jobb ízem. Így már igen. Nem jobb. Jó ez. Már igen.
9.5.
9.5.
Ja. Ez egy jó étkeles.
Nullkamma fünf. Ja.
A profi frutslap.
Igen.
Ó, kőmövés frucs, wow. Jó.
Senki nem tudta megmondani újra. Még a lengyel tolmácsok.
De egyébként most a etimológiai...
Mindenhez használják.
Okay, that made me very happy. That made me very happy. I mean, we lost a lot of daylight, but we gained something else entirely. Okay, and on we go. On we go. Let's see what we can find. So that was Sabi Gabi, he's the Tulai, and Danny, and Sabi Ba, who was the Ach. And they tell me that sometime in May, there is the festival weekend, the Borangolash. Because Barangolash is like to wander around, and Borangolash is to wander with wine. Is that the Erzsébet Fürdő? No. Really? Okay. Yeah. That would have been too good to be true. I guess it used to be a Fürdő. Now it is... What is this place? Yeah. It's just a doctor's office now. That's a shame. I mean, I didn't think it was a Fürdő. And there is the man himself, Kossuth Lajos. Kossuth Lajos, the revolutionary leader of Hungary in 1848. You know, I was saying before how Herman Ottó was a good friend of Kossuth Lajos, but apparently Kossuth Lajos, as did many people who encountered the polymath, the last polymath of Hungary, thought he was a little bit of a rapscallion, a little bit of a rascal. He was constantly getting into fights Herman Ottó, a real scallywag, as we wave goodbye to the Avasi hedge. Oh man, I wish that was a Fordu. Mit lehet csinálni. Mit lehet csinálni. People don't realize Miskolc is a beautiful town. They just don't realize. Speaking of Herman Ottó and his rebellious ways, it dated back to when he was... Oh, there it comes again. The Villamos. It dated back to his time in Vienna as a student at the Polytechnic Institute. Unfortunately, he had to drop out due to family concerns, whatever that means. But soon thereafter, he was recruited to be in the Viennese military, or in, not really the Viennese military, but the military of Emperor Franz Joseph. And unlike his desire to fight on the side of the Hungarians during the Szabadság Harc of 1848 as a 14-year-old, he did not want to fight in the Royal Austrian Army, despite his German heritage. And so, he said no. And for that, he was forced into 13 years of military conscription as a college dropout. Now, he was released early due to good luck, as they put it. But to go from that point, forced military conscription, college dropout, to becoming arguably the most famous Hungarian academic of the latter 19th century, wow. What a rags to riches tale. And his rebellious ways continued. Ah yes, the Zeneiskola. Egresi Beni. Don't know who that is. I like his outfit though. Very Kukurica Yanchi. You can hear the music floating out from the walls of this famous music academy. Let's see if we can get a closer listen. Oh, how delightful. Shh. Yes, the young Miskolci musicians, hard at work. That is not the Music Academy. That is the MVM Center. I don't want to pay any late bills, so we're gonna duck out of there. Okay, I don't know how this place is gonna be, but we're gonna do a little bit of a Miskolci pizza review. We got pizza tabor. I'm starving. I'm absolutely famished. Oh, say it ain't so, say it ain't so. I think that is some Magyar Secession. Some Art Nouveau. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There you go. Yes, the Magyar Secession, the Hungarian secession, to rival the Austrian secession, to rival Art Nouveau. Just around the time of Herman Ottó, turn of the century. What? The Pizza Tabor apartment. They also have a guest house. I'm gonna go back and try that place. I had to leave because I want to use the last daylight not inside a pizza place. But we will return for the pizza review after a little meander around this neck of the woods. And across the street there, my friends, is the Tűz Ottó Shag, the firehouse. That's definitely Soviet realism, communist era, but this is what I'm more interested in. The old spelling of Miskolc as well, with the Z at the end. Oh yes, beautiful. So, you know, Herman Ottó, in addition to all of his ornithological studies and his predilection for arachnids, those are spiders, and his excavations of early humans, he also was a politician. He entered into politics, and he was throwing firecrackers, throwing bombs all over the place. Really picking a lot of fights, starting all sorts of fisticuffs, at least in the metaphorical sense. But my favorite story of his was with Gyulai Pál. And Gyulai Pál and Herman Ottó, they were very much on opposite sides of the spectrum. Oh wow, Fazekas. Could it be Fazekas Mihai of Ludas Maci fame? Don't get distracted. Right, Gyulai Paul, he represented the more official, the more Sigorú, the more Hivatalos side of Hungarian academics, whereas Herman Ottó, as we said before, self-taught, thrown out of school, left for family reasons, whatever you want to say. Basically a complete rebel. And he and Gyulai Paul were big rivals. And my favorite story from the rivalry is what was known as the Wild Pigeon War of, I think, 1887, don't quote me on that. The Vad Galom Habaru. For Gyulai Paul, he wrote a poem about the Buk Mountains, which is very nearby to Miskolc. And he said some line about how there was a certain type of wild pigeon that was cooing and all this nonsense. And Herman Ottó, he said, no, Gyulai Paul. That particular pigeon has no business in the Buk. No business in the Buk. It doesn't inhabit the Buk. And this became like a many-month debate between the two men. The Wild Pigeon War. Herman Ottó. He was starting all sorts of fights. Great guy. You can see why the Miskolci love him. Oh, I'd recognize that mustache nearly anywhere. Deák Ferenc of the 20,000 forint note. Deák Ferenc. They really like that CZ combination in Miskolc. An ancient artifact of the Hungarian language due to its proximity with Slovakia? Many questions, and only a few answers. Lovely stuff. Downtown Miskolc. You know, we don't really have enough time to explore the nether regions. I mean, Miskolc is a huge city. I think it's 3rd or 4th biggest in Hungary, depending on who you ask. But this walk through the downtown has been absolutely terrific. And what do we got here? What do we got here? This is Magyar Honfoglalás, the 1,100 year anniversary. So that would have been 1996. I was 4. Oh, the Felvidékház. You know, little secret for you all. They call me Felvidéki Vilmos because my ancestors, my Naj, Sép Szüleim, my great-great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents again, Miskolci Galéria, Rákóczi Ferenc, they came from the Felvidék, from the highlands, modern-day Slovakia, to America in 1882 on a boat called the SS Illinois. Keresztül, Hamburg. And there comes the tram once more. No way. Dubrugi Ur. Dubrugi Ur. Ludas Maci. Okay. Little teaser of Miskolc. I will certainly be back. We got the Miskolc Kocsonya Festival coming up in March and the Bor Angolás in May. 2 dates, and I hope to make both. No promises, but I sincerely hope to make both. I'm a big Miskolc guy. Who knew? Kicsit Miskolci vagyok. Tényleg nagyon.
Look, I take complete and total responsibility for this because I did not read the menu. But as a New Yorker, to be confronted with a pizza which includes sliced hot dogs, fried eggs, string beans, and corn is a fairly horrifying experience. That being said, it was not bad at all. And Pizza Tabor is a cool ass place. I mean, the downstairs was scenic, but you know, all good things must come to an end. And as I consumed this pizza, I was left with the feeling of gratitude. Thank you, Miskolc. I shall return.
Well, 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 here he is, folks. The man, the myth, the legend. Herman Ottó. The last polymath in Hungarian history. Herman Ottó. Okay. And we shall see you very soon. That's all from Miskolc. Hajrá, Miskolc! Visszajövök!